This is how I made my first $100,000 at the age of 21, but before I tell you how I got there, I gotta take you back to what was I doing before I got started, and how did I get to where I am today? So right after high school, I went to play college football, thought that was gonna be what I was going to do for the next 4 years of my life. But quickly, I got injured about a month and a half into the season. Now when we're looking at it, I take a step back and look at right after I got hurt, I went to get a regular job at Kohl's. I was working the 6:30 a.m. shift, unloading boxes in the freezing cold. Yeah, it was terrible. Getting yelled at by a boss that probably isn't doing much with his life anyways. And if that's you, well, I'm gonna take you and show you the exact process that I did to get where I'm at today, and just take you step by step on what you can do to hopefully make your first $100,000. So, being in the right system, and what is gonna be your vehicle to success? What is gonna be your vehicle to your first $100,000, right? So for me, I got into door-to-door sales at the age of 19. So I was 18, really passed my test, my insurance test when I was 19 years old. Awesome, great, perfect. I'm in the insurance business, I'm about to make a lot of money, right? No, I was very wrong. Very quickly I realized this is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. It's more to it than just going into a house and being funny in front of someone that's old. There's more to it than that. So I quickly realized door-to-door sales isn't for me. I either suck at this or I'm gonna have to go back to college or get a regular job. And I remember having a conversation with my dad. I'm like, I suck at this. You know, my aunt had just fell out of the business. My uncle had just stepped aside to go take another job. And I'm sitting here realizing like, man, am I gonna disappoint my parents and be like a loser? Am I gonna have to go back to college? Because keep in mind, this is a year and a half in. All my buddies, my girlfriend, they're living the college life that I always dreamed of doing. Going and playing sports, and then realizing, man, I want to go play college sports and party, enjoy the college dream and lifestyle everybody was doing. But it wasn't for me. So when we're looking at this right here, being in the right system is detrimental to what your success is going to be. For me, I started off in door-to-door. Like I said a second ago, I quickly realized I don't want to go into people's houses anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So I got introduced to one of my mentors today, and he taught me virtual sales. And it wasn't easy. As soon as we got into that, we realized there's going to be a lot of learning lessons, a lot of learning curves, learning a completely new system, speaking over the phone rather than speaking to somebody in person. It was still a huge jump. But 6 months to a year later, I figured it out. I was in the right system, having the right CRM, tracking your clients, right? Being in the right vehicle. What I said earlier, virtual sales was the system that got me to where I wanted to be, right? So when we're looking at that, what is your system going to be? Virtual sales. Why did I choose sales in general? Well, I want to get paid for the effort that I put in. I don't want to leave it up to, oh man, I hope, at the year mark they give me a raise. I want it to be effort-based. If I show up and work hard every day, I want to get paid for the hours that I put in, right? So if I show up and I put 8 hours in sales, I can make $3,000. I can make $1,000 a day. Man, you can make $0 a day. But guess what? On that side, there's two sides of the coin. If you want all the reward, you have to want all of the risk, right? So if I want to be in an industry that I get paid for my effort and I get paid really great, well, you're commission-based the day you show up, and if you don't show up, you're going to make nothing. So let's go down to processes. Since you understand the system I'm in is virtual sales, what is the process? Showing up every day, what does it look like for being in virtual sales? How do I make my first $100,000 in virtual sales? Well, it's having the right lead vendors in front of you. Are you dialing leads? Are you taking inbound leads? For me, inbound transfers, inbound calls, you know what a transfer is, you know what an inbound is. Looking at the Medicare side and the life insurance side, the lead that you're taking is going to be very important. For me, I take inbound calls on a daily basis. I'm not outbound dialing unless I have to. And the biggest thing here is cross-selling different products. What I see on social media a lot, and I won't call out the specific company name, or companies, they're only selling one product. That's why they're on the hamster wheel every single year, chasing that $100,000 that they made, because it resets every year. If you're not selling multiple products, life insurance, hospital indemnity, Medicare, annuities, if you're selling annuities too, because that one client you have, you can sell them all four most of the time, right? Mainly all three. So final expense, life insurance, hospital indemnity, and Medicare all go together mainly on all those clients. So when I'm looking at it, building a residual income up and not being on the hamster wheel every single year. For example, I'll talk about the Medicare space real quick. Medicare, if I sell 100 clients during an AEP, annual enrollment period, yeah, I'm going to get a massive check up front. I'm going to get a $30,000 check in January. For example, I sold 227 clients in AEP. You multiply that by 347, whatever that number is, just do it. Pause the video real quick and do it yourself. Then, if that client stays on the books for a year, you get paid off of those clients that make it to the next year, right? You can either put them in a plan if there's a more beneficial option for them and get paid that 347 typically on what it is, depending on the year, or they stay on the book in their same plan and I'm getting paid. For example, I have probably over 400 clients right now. You multiply that by 28, I'm getting paid. Let's actually grab the phone real quick and do that math while you're watching this video. So say you build a book of business up to, let's do a realistic number, 300 clients that are coming in that's your residual, right? That's how much they make it a full year. Well, say you don't, those 300 clients, because you're going to get new clients obviously during the enrollment period, but let's do that times 28. 300 clients times 28, you are now making $8,400 every single month. It's going to hit your account, hit your account, hit your account. That is called residual income. That is not the hamster wheel that you see most of these people in sales being on. It doesn't reset every month. That's why this industry is so powerful if you're doing it the right way. Cross-selling. $8,400 a month, we multiply that by 12. Even without selling another policy, managing your book, making sure your clients are taken care of, answering those phone calls, you're making $100,000 from 300 clients every year just by managing your book. That's residual income every month. $8,400 a month just hitting your account. Boom, boom, boom. That's how you become financially free, and evidently that's how you make your first $100,000. Right there, you saw it. Get 300 clients in the books. So then we look at a Medicare aside. Let's talk about the final expense industry. You're looking at it, well, what if I have a Medicare client and I sell a Medicare client, or if I sell a life insurance client, what do you mean sell multiple products? Make sure you're at the right place or on the right people that train you how to sell those products, that train you how to have that cross-selling mindset of like, okay, if I'm taking care of a client on the life insurance side or the Medicare side, I know that I can sell multiple products to them. What I see most of the time, as long as I've been in the business for 3 years, people aren't around the right people. They're around, at these IMOs, at these agencies that are, guess what? They're either captive or they're holding you to where you're not able to make the money you're able to make because you're only selling one product. Most people are only selling one product. That's why when I get around people and say, hey, what are you selling? When they message me on Instagram, well, I'm selling hospital indemnity, Medicare, life insurance. I'm selling all three to the same client most of the time. 65 plus, if they're on Medicare, I have 3 products I can sell them. Well, man, I'm only selling final expense. I'm only selling life insurance. That's because the place you're at doesn't train you to do that. Maybe they only have life insurance contracts. Make sure you're around the right people. And I'll touch on being around the right people again. If you're around, you got to kind of leave those friends behind from high school and college sometimes. I have one buddy from high school that I talk to every day. That's because he's on the same mindset as me. We're here to grind and try and get rich and become financially free, not only to protect ourselves, but our future selves. We want to be financially free in the future. We don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck, right? And while I'm going to touch on that is those friends that you have in high school or college, or maybe you just met them one night randomly and they're your friend, you have to take a look at and evaluate those friends. Are they making me better? Or are they wanting me to go do drugs, drink alcohol every weekend? I'll say this right now, I don't party every weekend. I don't. So you have to be willing to sacrifice that or sacrifice one or the other. There's 2 sides of the coin. Which side of the coin do you want? Financially free, make your first 100,000, or party every weekend with those friends that are really not taking you anywhere and leveling you up. So to touch on people before I get into mentors, evaluate your friends. What value does this friend bring me? And I'm not saying cut off your family. I'm not saying cut everybody off immediately. Spend less time with them. Hey man, I cannot go get drinks on Thirsty Thursday, whatever that is. I heard someone say Thirsty Thursday the other day. Bro, if you go out for Thirsty Thursday, you are not gonna make any money. Like, what is Thirsty Thursday? I heard one of my college buddies say it the other day. And I never went to college, right? So I don't know what Thirsty Thursday is, but clearly that's what they're doing. So if you're looking at it, you have to evaluate your friends and evaluate what am I spending my time on? okay, right? So when you're looking at that, hey man, guess what? If you didn't hit your goal this week by Friday, I'm working on Saturday. Well, there was a concert my buddy wanted to go to. They wanted to go to dinner. They wanted to go to the casino. Hey man, I love the casino. Casino's fun. But if I didn't hit my goal by Friday, guess what? I'm working Saturday. And if you don't, you'll never make your first $100,000. So the last thing I'll touch on people is be around the right mentors, be plugged in. Be around the right people, not just your friends and family, but in your workspace. If I show up and my mentor's not giving me good energy, he's thinking that he's too good to talk to me, he's too good to answer my phone call, you're not getting the right mentorship that you have, right? Be around someone who inspires you to become better, who increases what you think you can do. When I first got into this, I looked around like, man, if you dude, you're just getting started making 1 sale a week. Just figure that part out. No, the people I was around, I wanted to be like them. Even if I just started, man, I don't care if I just started or not. I want 30 sales a week. I want 10K a month now. I want 100,000 now. But if you're around people that are just like, man, just 6 months into it, dude, you're just making it by, you're learning. Be around people who raise the bar, who want you to compete, who want you to make money, who love seeing your success. We had an agent start a few months ago, 3-4 months ago, and so hard on himself. But guess what? When you're around people and you compete, it makes you, if he can do it, I can do it. Because that's true. The people that you're around are either going to help you rise to the level you want to get to, or they're going to slow you down. Hey man, you're good, dude. Just do 5 sales a week. If I can do 10 sales a week, 20 sales, 30 sales a week, you can do it. I ain't any different than anybody else. I'm the same guy 5 years ago now. I'm getting old. I was in high school and I didn't even pass a math class. I was considered stupid. So if I can do it, you're a lot smarter than I am, you can do it. So when we're touching on this piece, be around the right people, man. It's so crucial. Be around the right people. And if you need help, how do I make my first $100,000? How do I get into sales? Just leave a comment down below, or if this is on Instagram, message me. And make sure to subscribe, hit that follow button for future videos.